gentlemen, we are back in the studio. I know I was out for a week, but we are here tonight. It is Monday night, so everyone, rise to your feet for the greatest web show in Monday night history. As we are here with the weekly What's Up, presented by KMullinsTV, live from the studio. It's, as always, Chris Mullins here, and basically, I'm going to first kick off the show tonight by telling you why exactly I missed last week's show. Well, last week's shows, I was out of the studio a lot. For any of you that know, I have a summer cottage down in Newtown. But what it is basically, I was down there working to get this summer cottage ready for the summer, and I was also just down there spending time with family. And I just took a week away from the show to also evaluate a couple things outside the show, actually. Because right now, I'm going to let y'all know, we are working on a website outside of Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It is going to be straight KMullinsTV. That's all it's going to be, is everything involved in the 4 programs, which possibly might even change up, actually, in the middle of this show, because I have more surprises for you as we turn every corner on this show. So what is going to happen is we got this website that's about to be popping off, and also I want you guys to help me out with deciding on a theme song for the show. I have narrowed it down to about 4 selections, and what's going to happen is you guys are going to get to vote between those 4 selections, or I'm going to also put those 4 in, and then I'm going to also put in an opportunity for you guys to add a song, and basically just try to think of what would go well with my song. With my show, scratch that about that. With what would go well with my show as a theme song overall for all the K-Mullins programs, unless you guys would rather me to have 4 different theme songs for each show. I also want to hear your opinions on that. So that's what we're going to do this week. That's going to be the big poll for this week, is I want you guys to help me decide on the theme song. I've narrowed it down to 4 I really think personify the show overall, the shows, and personify my channel, but I'm going to let it, because it's all about people power here, I'm going to let you guys help me make this decision, and if you guys feel that there's another song, a different one, that basically shows more about my show than these, please let me know, and we will put those into selections. Okay, here we go. Now on with the show. We're going to kick off tonight's show by talking about my first topic, and we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs currently going on that are basically all over any channel. If you know that, if you watch ESPN, you know it has been covered with coverage of these playoffs, which actually some people complain that they're a little too long. I sometimes do complain about that, but I kind of like it, though, because you get really a more sense to watch it during those times, because really, overall, during the college basketball season, I watch all college basketball, not really any pro, and then even before that, you got NFL going on at that time, and college football going on at that time. Really, there's really no time to watch NBA, really, if you're not really, really interested in it. Yes, I love the Celtics, but I'm not going to sit there and watch any other team play if the Celtics aren't on. Or even if the Celtics are on, I'm not going to drop everything I'm doing for them. I can always just see what the highlights are. And I will always be rooting for my team, but you just always don't want to watch all those games because there's such an abundance of games. It's even that way in baseball. In baseball, I don't watch every single Reds game, but I hope they win them almost every time. Because, unless they're going to win them all then. Shit. But overall, the playoffs, I really like the way it's set up. And so far, actually, we're down to the final 8 teams. We started with 16. We narrowed it all down as we got earlier tonight, the Sixers beat my Celtics by 1 point. And that series is now tied 1-1 as Rondo had a triple-double in the first game to lead Boston to victory in that. Also going on right now, and this is just a shellacking right now, it's a 20-point game as OKC, the Oklahoma City Thunder, are up on the Los Angeles Lakers. Other games, the other second-round matchups that are involved so far is, Miami played Indiana yesterday, and Miami had quite a scare, actually, from Indiana. No one really expected Indiana to bring the game to them as much as they did. But in the end, it really just came down to Wade, LeBron, and the gang. And they put the first loss of the series on the Pacers. So it is 1-0 Miami in that series. Other series, that have not kicked off yet is we still got to see San Antonio and the Los Angeles Clippers, which I believe is going to be a great series. That is fundamental basketball at its finest, I believe, because Greg Popovich and Vinny Del Negro are two of the every time you hear who is the best coach in the NBA, you're going to hear certain names almost immediately. Popovich really does not get the respect he deserves, and neither does Vinny Del Negro. I mean, he led a team that no one expected them to, even with their team stacked the way it was, no one expected the Clippers to go in the certain years. Like, literally, Blake Griffin is only, I believe, in his third year right now. Maybe even his second. No, he is in his third. And they're already back to being one of the best teams in the NBA right now. They're right at that cusp of being one of the best teams in the NBA right now. So even after all the terrible mismanagement they've had over the years, they are finally back on track as CP3 and BG32 are leading the charge, and Los Angeles might be a two-team city right now, which is really funny to say because you would have told me there would be a two-team city about 4 or 5 years ago. I would have laughed at you and called you an ignorant fan of basketball. Because really, there's no other way of putting it lightly, because I'm going to try to keep this PG. But I would most definitely think you were dumber than dirt when it comes to that. Because there's no thinking that that would happen. But overall, those are the matchups so far. And aside from we got, like I was telling you, those are the series we got so far. There's 8 teams left. We'll narrow it down to eventually 4 teams, then 2, and then 1. And that's when we will crown our champion. And I'm still going for Boston, but right now, the team to look out for, that team that I believe could be a team to reckon with, is after tonight's impressive performance against the Lakers team that is pretty well put together. OKC could be in line to get their first title, and I believe Oklahoma's first professional title of any type. I mean, I might have to check on that, but for real, if any of you know if they've ever won a professional title, I know they've won college. Yes, the Oklahoma Sooners have won in college, but has the state of Oklahoma won any professional titles in either Major League Baseball, maybe hockey, soccer, anything in the history? I do not believe they have, but if I'm wrong, let me know. Other than that, I'm hoping Boston comes out with another one to add to their record, and it would just be so sweet to see them hoist another one up in the Boston Gardens, as this could be a song to the Big Three, which could drastically change after this year as everyone's getting old. Really, Rondo's the only guy I really see out of their starting lineup sticking around after this year. I really wouldn't. I see them all retiring eventually, and they could all eventually retire this year, actually. But Pierce is the only other guy I really see. Like, I see definitely, I would not be surprised if Garnett and Ray Allen retired after this year, which would be really sad ending if they don't win a championship to two of the greatest players of our generation. But overall, I'm going with Boston to win these playoffs, and I will keep you updated weekly on this situation. The next subject I'm going to talk to you about is Meta World Peace. We're going to stick with the NBA right now. And Meta World Peace, Meta World Peace is Ron Artest. I'm going to stop it right there. Rewind. we are not going to refer to him as Meta World Peace on this show because he is still that punk Ronnie that decided that it was going to be okay to jump into the stands in Auburn Hills. And he has been a punk. He's still a punk, and he's trying to hide it behind this stupid name change that just makes him look like a buffoon. So overall, I really don't even know what to think about this guy. He calls himself Meta World Peace. A couple weeks ago, gets suspended for only 7 games, really. I believe it was a couple weeks ago. He got suspended for elbowing James Harden, who they are playing in the playoffs right now, and I just alluded to they're getting thumped on. I can assure you that if Harden is in on this game and in on this scoring, he is talking massively at this guy that needs to learn to grow up. I mean, he's in his 30s right now. You don't act like a child in your 30s. You grow up. Quit. And then he was complaining that he would never shake. One second. He would never shake the substitution's hand. He would never shake hands with the guy that he was going to be playing with. He is just a punk. He does not embody the sportsmanship that you need to have when you're playing a sport. I don't care if you're a punk off the court. Okay, cool, you can be a dick off the court. But overall, you are representing your team, the team that is on your shirt, on your jersey. And you're representing the team that is in your locker room. And you represent the team that is on your bench. So you do not go out of your way to act like an ass clown. And actually, because we didn't do it this last week, I'm nominating Meta World Peace as Ass Clown of the Week for his stupid remarks over that. And it actually came down close because also what happened last week while we were gone from the studio was Cole Hamels saying he intentionally beamed Washington Nationals phenom Bryce Harper, which is another thing you don't do. So those two are going to share the co-award. First award we've ever handed out here at KMullinsTV. And, I don't even know what I can give them that would embody them being a complete ass clown. But I know that most definitely those two are one and the same to me. And they both show that they have little to no class whatsoever. And this is just sad to see. And also, both suspensions that they both received, because they both received, what's funny is they both received 7-game suspensions. But they both deserved much more for that elbow. And then also, I believe that Bud Selig screwed up once again with only suspending Cole Hamels for 7 games when he's a starting pitcher. So he really only got his start pushed back 1 day. You suspend him for 50 games, teach him a lesson, and he's never going to admit to it or do it again, because that's just stupid. You shouldn't bean them on purpose, and then you shouldn't tattletale on yourself. That's just asking to be suspended. Why admit to it if you're going to do it? And why do it in the first place? It's baseball. What's this kid done to you? He is 19 years old. Oh no, he's getting hype. Let's complain about it a little bit more. I believe you got a ton of hype when you were just coming into the league, Cole. So overall, those two have really had me racking my brain as to how stupid athletes can be sometimes. And basically, congratulations to the inaugural Ass Clowns of the Week, Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, and Cole Hamels. A topic I'm going to hit on with you real quick, though, is non-basketball. And basically what it's going to be is we're going to discuss Mother's Day was yesterday. My mom is out of town. I hope everyone showed their love for their mothers yesterday because really, my mom's really right now all I got. So, Mom, I love you. Thank you for encouraging me on this show because you're one of my biggest supporters I've had since I started this web show, and this is really what I love to do, so I'm glad you support me on this. And I hope you're having a fun time in Florida. But overall, in baseball, yesterday during Mother's Day, 2 players made their mothers probably very happy as we had a great day of baseball as Joey Votto and Giancarlo Stanton both hit walk-off grand slams to win for their teams to win their games. Well, what happened is first the Marlins' Giancarlo Stanton hit his walk-off, and then later on the Reds finally got their game in. If you paid any attention to that, it was rain delay after rain delay after rain delay. They finally got it in, and Joey Votto was on fire. He went, I believe it was 4 for 5. He had 3 home runs and a double. And what happened there is he had 3 home runs and a double with his game winner. He had a game-winning home run, and that was a grand slam to cap off a 6 RBI day as the Reds came back and won it in the very end of the game. And I'm sorry that I'm just ecstatic because I'm just thinking back to the last night when I was watching this game. I had friends over last night. We were watching this game. All hope seemed to be lost. And then it just got around. The batting order was getting around. And all of a sudden, Joey Votto stepped up to the plate and bam, knocked that right into center field. It was gone. Once it left the bat, we all knew it was gone. And what a great day for Reds fans, and great day for moms that are Reds fans, as the Reds took home the win against the Washington Nationals on Mother's Day. Okay, the last topic I want to hit on you with is the NBA draft is coming up, and the draft lottery, more importantly, is coming up soon. Which, the draft lottery, for anyone who doesn't pay attention to the NBA, and every other sport with the draft, I'm mainly pointing at, because I don't know how the way baseball's draft or hockey's draft works. I'm pointing at the way football's draft works. It goes by record. No matter what, it goes by record. But in basketball, because of the length of the season and because there were teams that were bombing games just to get that worst record, to get that good player to add to their team, they implemented the draft lottery, which basically means every team that did not make the playoffs gets a certain number of lottery balls that go into a big lottery machine, and it will spit out 3 teams. Those top 3 will be the top 3 picks in the draft. It'll go 3, 2, 1, and then those things will be the top 3. And then the rest will go in the order that they had from worst record to best record overall. And I did my little mock draft just now. I just did it right here before the show. I thought about it because I knew this was going to be a topic for this show. I thought about it for a couple days. And overall, right now, I'm going to give you my 14 lottery picks and the teams that are picking in those slots for the draft. Number 1 is the Charlotte Bobcats, obviously. If you were paying any attention to their team this year, you understand that they only won 9 games this year, which is the worst record of all time. I think it was 9. It was either it was between 7 and 9. It was single digits. Let's just put it that way. It was single digits. And you should never have a team that bad. But they're going to be getting a lot of help right here as I see the Charlotte Bobcats selecting Anthony Davis, power forward out of Kentucky. Washington Wizards, I got you taking Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, small forward, Kentucky. Cleveland Cavaliers, I got you taking my boy out of Florida, shooting guard Bradley Beal. New Orleans Hornets picking 4th. I see you taking Player of the Year runner-up, Thomas Robinson, power forward, Kansas. Sacramento Kings, I see you adding to that front court, getting Perry Jones III, power forward, out of Baylor. Portland Trailblazers get this pick from the Brooklyn Nets, and I see Portland taking power forward from Ohio State, Jared Sullinger. And I'm pretty surprised because there's some people that aren't too big on him. There are some people who are a lot bigger than even I am on him. But Golden State Warriors, I have selecting the next replacement for Monta Ellis as they traded him away this season. I see them grabbing shooting guard out of Connecticut, Jeremy Lamb. With the Toronto Raptors picking 8th, I see them taking small forward out of North Carolina, Harrison Barnes. I see Detroit adding onto their front court, taking power forward Terrence Jones out of Kentucky. The New Orleans Hornets are picking again here, as they got this pick from the Los Angeles Clippers, who got that pick from Minnesota. I see them taking the next heir apparent who's going to be coming in because they just traded away CP3. Damian Lillard, point guard, Weber State. Really big on that kid. He's going to be something special in the NBA. The Portland Trailblazers are picking again, and I see them taking Austin Rivers, shooting guard out of Duke. And many people are really wondering if his gameplay is going to be able to translate into the pros. I believe it is. His dad is my favorite coach, Doc Rivers. I believe, and his dad is a former player, so I believe he will have his son ready for this upcoming NBA season. After that will obviously be happening after the draft. I believe he will immediately bring him in, and that he will have him ready by opening night. The Milwaukee Bucks, I see taking a guy who I'm not high on, but I threw him in there because I don't see him dropping too far, but I just don't see him needing to be picked up as high as some people were having him. Andre Drummond, center out of Connecticut. The guy shoots free throws about as good as my grandmother. And basically, his only thing is minimal offense. He has okay on offense, but defense is really his only thing. And everyone knows how much defense goes on in the NBA. 0. None. Yeah, I was not throwing up a 3 goggle for all you Kentucky fans. I was throwing up a 0 for 0 defense played in the NBA, really. The Defensive Player of the Year is almost kind of a joke award. It's like who played the most non-defense. So let's just give them an award. But overall, let's get back to my countdown. The 13th pick, I got the Phoenix Suns taking Dion Waiters, guard out of Syracuse. And Houston, I have upgrading their front court, taking North Carolina big man John Henson. That is it for my draft lottery. And if you guys have any suggestions as to if I should change that or anything, because I do plan on doing a mock draft when the full draft order comes out for the NBA. And also, let me know where you think certain guys are going to end up going. So, because I always love to hear what other people's opinions are in the world of sports. That's about all the time I want to take up with you guys tonight. I believe I'm going to be back in the studio Wednesday with my pop culture show that I always have on Wednesdays now. And then I also this weekend will be previewing the upcoming pay-per-view, which is Sunday. We have our first pay-per-view prediction show, which is going to be, we're going to host it Friday, and we're going to make our predictions for the Over the Limit pay-per-view that is going to be this Sunday live from North Carolina State University. And it is sure to be a great show. If any of you have been paying attention to wrestling, it's been getting really exciting lately, and I'm sure that this show is going to once again exceed my expectations, much like Extreme Rules did a couple weeks ago. As always, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, woo woo woo, you know it. If you didn't know it, now you do. I'm Chris, and that's what's up.
The cult of person